And next up, we have another rather technical talk, a very cool talk from Dr. Alexandra, revolutionizing drone operations with secure Web3 IoT networks. I'm really excited for this one. I'd like to welcome Dr. Alexandra to the stage. Please give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much. Very happy to join you at this great conference. So hope you had fun. Let me show you today what we've been working at Staex for a couple of years already. We enjoy a very unique history of coming out of a big corporate. We've been part of Deutsche Telekom Innovation Laboratories since 2017 until 2020. And now we are independently doing Web3 on the markets. So with this being said, please, I will say it in the beginning of the talk and in the end, if some of you are part of Berlin Blockchain Week, we actually launch our program next week, Tuesday at 3 p.m. We just announced that the state secretary will be doing the introduction speech at this event, so this is very exciting. Just join us. It's on the south of the city. We've been working on it for quite some time, so very happy to present. Today I want to share with you how Web3 actually changed the way I was actually thinking about security. I was actually thinking about connectivity. I spent a lot of time working for a telecommunication operator. I also teach security at one of the universities in Germany, and this topic really got me excited, so I want to excite you today how you can start using this already in your corporation and in your business today. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. I really love security, and I went so far that I was working on my PhD at the Technical University of Berlin in 2013. And this is the numbers that I actually learned, which is crazy, because first of all, the number of machines that actually surround us, I speak about drones, I speak about smart machines, I speak about robots, will go up significantly in the next years. We already see this inside the automation. And the craziest thing that I learned was that there was a research group that put a smart box on the network. It was like a trap for the hackers. And they have actually learned that if you have your device on the internet today, the device experiences up to 5,400 attacks monthly. Just let this number run through your head. A lot of people, a lot of companies today, going through the industry over the last 8 years, you're going to be scared how many things are actually unencrypted that are being sent over the internet, because I'm going to cover it in a second. And this amount is used by the hackers because hackers are happy to reuse our smart boxes, which are in charging stations, in drones, etc., to run their large-scale attacks. Now, I make the joke, we are on the wrong side of the market because the estimation for device cybercrime would reach $10 trillion by 2025. It's real numbers, which I think personally is really crazy. So what is already possible to do with Web3 tools today? And you probably know that Web3 is all about networks. It's not only about blockchain. Web3 also can do great networking technology. And so already today, you can actually speak about 0% downtime. You can speak about a lot of time and cost savings just because the Web3 infrastructure is set up in a very efficient way. It saves you a lot of time, a lot of money, and it gives you security by design, which I personally think learning about all the hacks and everything that happens on the networking is a silver bullet. So we work like for instance, IoT builders build robots, drones today. They deal with protocols like TCP, VPN, which is remote access. They use tools from Web2. And all of this tooling can be actually made more efficient and simple through Web3 tools. So why is it actually so complicated today? This is just the top of the iceberg on the left side. Well, actually, the IoT builders today, they kind of think, okay, I just have to somehow install the VPN and it's gonna work. I can reach my IoT device, I can manage my fleet, I can manage, my fleet of automated cars, etc. The problem is it's actually a little bit more complicated. The protocols are pretty old. They've been developed in the 70s and 80s and 90s last century. So I think it's also great to think about it. We didn't even have a mobile connection back then. And so it's not only just so simple, because the variety of protocols include DNS, SSL. You have to work with firewalls. The craziest thing is that on today's internet, it's all like the security itself is optional. So the amount of mistakes that is happening if you manage imagine you have 2 million devices fleet, and every device has to be managed manually. You can't enforce your security, right? So how you build a process to actually make sure that everything is encrypted? It's just very complicated, and I was also talking to companies that it's getting harder and harder to find the specialists that can actually set up a great network that can manage your 2 million devices in the field securely. And so today with Web3, they unite a lot of these things, they redefine a lot of these things. I know these are not standards today, however, within Web3 community, we work a lot with open source, with industrial accepted standards. They can automate all this stuff, they can seal it under one key, and send it on the network securely with end-to-end encryption, which I think it's really cool. So how does it work? Today's Web3 platforms, they work a lot with local execution, so you even don't have any cloud backend, so you execute a small library on your device directly. The devices then can build secure tunnels within the network. Web3 even went so far that you can do software orchestration inside your network. So you don't need to orchestrate your services in the backend with Kubernetes and very expensive tooling in the cloud, but you have very lightweight and secure, efficient features inside the network already today. On top, you have the tools to actually work with your apps. You can connect to, today's the variety of blockchain platforms where you can use telemetry, trusted telemetry features, you can use smart contracts, etc. So what are we actually showing next week in Berlin? Join us for the drone operations. One of the things that is complicated is I have a fleet of drones, how to actually manage my secure connection to the drone, how to send securely the data. It's actually a really interesting use case because it's being used by the industry today to do surveillance over a lot of use cases. So they track their electromagnetic field data, they track the CO2 data, etc. And the only way how you can make it very cost efficient at scale is with Web3 tools. Because today's cloud infrastructure, if you build such services, it becomes really expensive. The second use case that we are building today in Berlin with the ICP protocol is the vehicle tracking system. So there is actually a problem if you run a fleet. You might have a problem with a trust issue with the drivers. So you can actually bypass this trust issue and you can say, well, now I actually trust my vehicle, it's a trusted vehicle. And the vehicle itself will be doing the tracking, will be sending all the data. And the beauty in it that for the whole solution, you don't even need a cloud service. So each time I talk with my customers, they're very excited that within the network, you already have trusted telemetry, you already have encrypted data, you already have smart contracts. So for instance, the car can recognize, okay, the contract hasn't been paid, so I wouldn't go, I can't go further. And they're very amazed that it's just pre-built in a network and they don't have to build their UIs and stuff. It's just all done automated. People that worked on it for 10, 15 years already, like us, I think it's pretty exciting to see this in live. Yeah, just as a summary, the use cases that we described, first of all, it starts with high volume data transactions for drone civilians. Basically today, what we also learned, for instance, to take the data from the drone, there are a lot of companies that are running to the drone and take it with a USB stick. So this is happening today. With Web3, you can build efficient infrastructure for this. You can do trusted vehicle tracking for your fleet management and bypass a lot of cloud services that you built to make it trusted. And of course, you can track your data securely. Like for instance, if you measure CO2, like for instance with a satellite, right? There are companies that are doing this. You can trustedly sign the data while the measurement has been done. And actually this is also the data that has to be revealed for the auditors. So this is a perfect Web3 use case. yeah, this is it from my side. I will mention again, please register Google for Web3 Drone Corridor. There is a public viewing part. This happens in the south of Berlin. So please join us if you have time. And if we have some time for questions, we might take some.